Well, you're bringing up nostalgia porn. I mean, that's when you know, I hate to be so like a Debbie Downer, but we have so much nostalgia, particularly on like our generation, millennials, even Zoomers, for a time past. And there's an entire industry, a cottage industry being developed to serve the needs of that nostalgia because people are trying to yearn to go back. You didn't really see this, in these decades you're describing. It's very much a modern phenomenon.
But you drive around, you go to France, you go to Spain, and you look at this old architecture and how amazing it was. I think it was Seamus who was saying the reason for it is because that was media. How you conveyed a great work and a symbol was in the structures you were building that people would see. Now it's something else. It's videos, it's paintings, it's tweets or whatever. So people don't really care anymore. But you look at modern developments. Look, I got to be honest. I rode my bike down the street. I skated today. I got all sweaty. I said, I'm going to go on my bike and just go 30 back and forth and just cool down. And they've got this housing development, and all of the houses are identical.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, if you go to the south side of Chicago, the exact same thing. And I'm sure it's the same in most urban developments. All these identical houses. At the very least, when I was a kid, all the houses were different colors. It's like, my house was like reddish or whatever, and the house was white next to me, and the house to the other side, mine was more like beige orange, and the house to the left was red, and the house to the right was white, and then there was wallpaper, and everyone kind of made it their own space. Now you go and look at the new developments, and they're like, we're putting in a new library, and it's a white cube. Yep. With just aluminum and white. It's awful.
And beyond the developments, it's the cities in general. I mean, the architecture, these giant steel, glass structures, they could be anywhere in the world. I mean, the United States, we had beautiful cities not that long ago. You go back 100 years, you look at our cities, it looked like we lost a war. You go to all these major cities, places now you would think of as kind of, dumpy, not exactly a great place to live. We had amazing cities, and we collectively destroyed them after World War II, with the highway system and building, car-centric.
But you think the highway system destroyed?
They tons of American cities, they put the highway right through some of the hearts of these cities. You look at places like Cincinnati, other places, they had entire thriving communities, and the entire highway system, eminent domain, right through the heart of it. They tore down everything else to build parking. They changed the laws, the setback laws. They required, certain regulations in terms of mixed use and all these other things. All of a sudden, all these great cities that we had across the country with their own unique architecture, unique, culture, development, all got destroyed. At the same time, we start to lose our regional accents. A lot of these things that made different parts of the country unique and different, architecture, etc.
So are you anti-highway system?
No, but they did it. They did it in a poor way. They were this post-war energy, end of history.
You remarked about the loss of of different regional cultures and stuff like that, and that would imply that the highway system is a bad thing because the reason that they would lose the regional flavor would be because people can move around too easily.
We're putting gargoyles in the building. we got gutters put in, and they're big black plastic tubes that just ride down and spray the water out. No, we will put up gargoyles, and then what happens is the rainwater runs into the gargoyles, and then it comes out the gargoyle's mouth and sprays it away from the building to stop the erosion.
Huh. I think these are the things that people do when they love a place, they believe they're going to be a long time, they give it personality. And that was true of the cities, right? Like if you're walking in, the West Village in New York, you're not in the middle of Dallas, Texas.
Correct.
But there are historic parts of Dallas that have, their own development. Dallas comes to mind for me because I had spent time there when it was growing a lot. And there were lots of, like you're talking about, apartment complexes that could be anywhere. They all kind of look the same. I think what you're talking about reminds me of Cumberland, Maryland. I don't know if anyone else has driven through it, but there's a highway that goes through it, and you're literally like looking at these old sort of Victorian style row houses, but you are basically eye to eye with probably someone's bedroom window because it really looks like they just put the highway down the middle of it. I think regionalism in America, I think regional culture is incredibly important. I think it's one of the things that we seeded and that began to take away the overarching American culture. And I think, I'm not anti-highway, but I do think ultimately highway was about people who benefited from making money off of it, and the governments that were like, it's just easier for us to put it there than about preserving the communities that they ran through.